just getting this taken care of. So hopefully that summarizes.
Well, can I ask how many people in the audience are familiar with the revisions and actually joined them?
No, if you have a question that you'd like to ask about the master plan?
That's the question I have.
Okay, well, why don't you go ahead and state your name?
Roger Flynn.
All right, Roger, what's your question, Mr. Flynn?
Well, my first question is I'm just curious to know, given your summary, how many people in the audience have a good enough understanding of what's in that master plan to even provide a comment? I didn't see anything published in the paper in the notice indicating what was in there.
I can't answer that, Roger, because if they didn't attend every open meeting that we had when we updated the master plan, I'm not going to spend all night and read it word for word and tell you what was changed, okay?
Every meeting, everybody had a chance to speak, even when they weren't supposed to. We let people comment, and we've been open every third Monday.
I mean, this is local government here. I mean, there's nothing secret here. All these meetings were open, conducted. In fact, you can ask Linda there. She's got the videotape from every one of them. Excuse me, I'm talking. Excuse me, please. Okay, she's got the videotape of every meeting that we've had. Okay, so there was no secret meeting. The same people come to the same meetings every time. Linda, Mr. and Mrs. Grubish, Marcy, a little bit. Other than that, that's it. So we're not, that's all who attends the meeting. So if the people in the audience can't make an educational comment, how is that my problem? How is that our problem?
John, Sonny, let me, can I speak?
Yeah, you still got
Let me just make sure, let me set the tone here. The tone is that I think a revised master plan is very important to the township. Okay, I don't think this needs to be an adversarial conversation, but what's really important, at least to me, is that, and I'm sure you read what I
yeah, and I'm prepared to answer your questions as soon as you get to them.
I will. And the reason I did that was because I think we needed a community-wide perspective. And granted, you're absolutely right. Very few people.
We can't force people to come to the meeting.
No, I understand.
Well,
I fully understand.
I don't think you understand.
No, I do understand that. That's why I wrote the letter, and I fully appreciate what all's been done here. My point here is that it's very important that we all know what is in that master plan, because there are possible unintended consequences. So what I'd like to do, all right, in my public comment session.
Unintended consequences for who, Roger? For you?
Well, that's quite possible, and for other members of the community. All right, but can I start my public comment?
Please.
And I ask for your patience. I don't think I can do it in 3 to 5 minutes, John. All right? Do I have your permission?
If you can make it short, yes, sir.
Okay, well, I'll make it as short as I can.
Please.
I've read that numerous times, the master plan, and I did get the last copy that from Marion that was sent out of the county.
Then why? Never mind.
Let me just talk. What I saw in there is that you've really made three major changes to the master plan. Okay, and those 3 major areas are: one, first, you included elements of the Farmland Preservation Act,
right? And the Black River Watershed.
And secondly, the Black River Watershed. And then thirdly, collectively, you made changes to goals and objectives and visions, all right, that were set in place in the 2001 master plan, all right. And there are, and I guess from my perspective, and again, this is my personal public comment, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I have no problem, and actually, I really can't comment on the farmland preservation or the Black River Watershed. Okay. However, I think that you're making changes, material changes, from my perspective, to certain goals and objectives, and also, and probably more importantly, to the vision of future land use. I think you may have stepped beyond a certain point. All right. And my concern here is that. And I'll discuss those specific areas. My concern here is that I question whether, since there are material changes to the vision, and goals and objectives that were firmly established in 2001, that was the result of a community-wide survey.
Okay.
My question is that do those changes reflect the community's will? All right? That's my underlying message, my underlying concern here. But let me address three.
Can I answer that right there?
Yeah, sure.
As far as I'm concerned, it does meet the community will, because the community never showed up for the meetings. So how can it, I mean, we've got a job to do, Roger. We're just not gonna sit up here with our hands tied and collect a paycheck from the township for not doing nothing. We have to do something.
I understand that.
Okay.
All right. But did you go beyond the meetings? Did you, I mean, for example, the notice, John, the notice didn't, I mean, who knows what the heck's in there? I mean, you could have categorized it just like I did. Hey, we made 3 major changes, you know. Well, nevertheless, here's my specific concerns. You made 3 changes, 3 changes that are really concerning me. One is that, and as you may have read in my letter to the editor, I believe you've commercialized the township, or you're attempting to commercialize the township. You're attempting to do that by rezoning 388 from 681 down to 53rd Street. And by the way, as a side note, you state in there 52nd 53rd Street. There is no 52nd 53rd Street.
Yes, sir, it's right here.
No, it's 52nd and a half. Go out and take a look at the sign.
Well, I know that's 53rd.
No, go take a look
Well,
at the sign.
52nd and across the street is 53rd, isn't it?
Right.
That's what the sign
52nd,
says.
this is 52nd and a half.
Well,
No,
that's-
but here's the issue that brings up, John. If you read it, and I've read this over and over again, in there, you state that you're allowing this in section 4. All right, although you do say 53rd, 52nd, okay, I could easily make the conclusion that you're projecting 52nd Street to the boundary, to the eastern boundary of section 4, to the extent that you want to commercialize 686, 300 feet on either side, from 681, almost to the end, to the eastern boundary of section 4, which is just about down to the creek. Okay, now I don't know if that's a half a mile. Well, if you read, I draw your attention to that. It's very confusing.
Well, I didn't think it was confusing.
John, it's 51 and a half. You go out and take a look at that.
The 51 and 51st and a half.
52 and a half, excuse me. But then you do state in there, in section 4, which implies that it goes beyond 52nd and a half. Here's my concern with this, and that is, and the county has already told you this, in terms of, I guess in your last September meeting, that when you start commercializing the township, it's better you not do that along lengths of roadways. All right? If I could read very quickly for you, as I did in my letter to the editor, the key among the resident-supported goals of the 2001 plan were that Columbia Township preserve its rural character and open space, preserve the area's valued farmland, and that the township limit commercial and industrial development to concentrated clustered locations to preserve an overall rural agricultural environment in which to live. All right, my question is that what you're trying to do, is that in conflict with the 2001 master plan? You're commercializing a strip, all right, of highway, a highly used strip of highway. And not only that, you want to do the same thing on 215 and 384.
No, I think that's our future land use map. Everything stays zoned the same. We're just saying if we want commercial industries, we want it along those strips. Zoning has not been changed,
No, I
except for the
understand.
9 properties that we rezoned to commercial because the public outcry wanted us to do that. They didn't want us to commercialize this whole section.
We are commercializing the whole section from 681 to 53rd Street. 300 feet on either side.
It's our future land use map.
Well, I understand that, but
Okay,
that's
that
what you
just
want to
means
do.
it's just what it is, it's future.
All right,
If
well,
we're
I
gonna
think-
have development, that's where we want it.
From my perspective, that's in conflict with what the county wants to do in its master plan, and it's also in conflict with the 2001 master plan. It needs to be in cluster.